Welcome to Screen Recap, your shortcut to movie magic. We break down the best films in minutes, keeping it fast, fun, and packed with all the essentials. Our movie begins with a young boy named Alex. We see him getting ready to go to school, and we learn that Alex lives with his mother, who has been separated from his father for a long time. It's clear that Alex loves his mother very much. On his way to school, Alex receives a message from his friend Felix, warning him that two students are following him and want to beat him up. Alex rushes to school, and upon arrival, he hears Felix calling for help. He intervenes to defend him, but a student named Lance attacks Alex, knocking him to the ground. The school principal scolds Alex and threatens to expel him if he gets into trouble again. Felix thanks Alex for saving him. The next day, the principal forces Alex and Lance to attend behavior modification sessions together. During the session, Lance mocks Alex. After the session ends, Lance and his friend Kai chase Alex, intending to harm him. Alex escapes into an under-construction building to hide. Suddenly, he falls from the building and loses consciousness. The boys think he's dead and flee. However, Alex wakes up unharmed because the fall wasn't very high. While trying to find a way out, Alex discovers a sword embedded in a stone. He easily pulls it out and calls Felix to meet him. Alex and Felix examine the sword and notice Latin inscriptions on it. Using a translation app, Felix discovers that the sword originates from a city called Tinagel. Alex is shocked because his father lives there. They decide to visit Tintagel, taking an old book given to Alex by his father. The book tells the story of King Arthur, who fought evil and embedded his sword in the ground when he died, and no one could pull it out. Alex begins to believe that this might be Arthur's sword. The next day, a new student named Morton joins their class. The students mock Morton because he looks older than them. Alex notices Morton constantly watching him, which makes him uneasy. Morton confronts Alex, revealing that he knows Alex pulled Arthur's sword. He warns Alex that in 4 days, during a solar eclipse, Morgana will rise from beneath the earth to destroy the world. Alex dismisses Morton as crazy. However, later, Alex wonders how Morton knew about the sword and decides to return it to its place to avoid any trouble. That night, Alex hears a strange noise and looks out his window, only to see a terrifying monster emerging from the ground. The monster approaches his house, and Alex hears something break inside. Investigating, he discovers the monster holding the sword. Alex confronts the monster with Arthur's sword, but it disarms him. Just as the monster is about to kill Alex, it vanishes, and Alex finds Morton unconscious on the ground. Morton explains that he saved Alex from the monster and asks him to meet at a restaurant the next day to explain everything. Morton then transforms into a bird and flies away. Alex reads his father's book and learns that Morgana is King Arthur's sister, who once tried to kill him to claim the throne. Arthur defeated her and imprisoned her underground. Unfortunately, by pulling the sword, Alex unintentionally freed Morgana. Now it's Alex's mission to defeat her and save the world. Alex also discovers information about a wizard named Merlin, who possesses magical powers. He suspects that Morton might be Merlin because of his ability to transform into a bird. The next morning, Alex's mother finds him asleep with the sword and tells him that Arthur is a fictional character. She urges him to return the sword, but Alex refuses. He and Felix meet Morton at a restaurant, where Morton reveals that he is indeed Merlin. Disguised as a young boy, Merlin explains that the monster was one of Morgana's soldiers. He urges Alex to prepare for battle to prevent Morgana from destroying the world. Alex, feeling overwhelmed, gives the sword to Merlin, saying he's just a kid and can't fight her. Merlin transforms into his true form and uses magic to show Alex a vision of a destroyed, fiery world if Morgana isn't stopped. This motivates Alex to take action. Alex and Felix return to the construction site where Alex found the sword. Lance and Kai confront them, trying to take the sword. Alex embeds the sword back into the stone, challenging them to pull it out if they can. Lance tries but fails. Alex explains the sword's significance and convinces Lance and Kai to stop bullying him and become his allies. To prove his point, Alex pulls the sword out again. Lance mocks Alex, but suddenly one of Morgana's soldiers emerges from the ground. Lance drops the sword in fear, and Alex saves him at the last moment. More soldiers appear, and the group realizes they must flee. Lance attempts to burn the soldiers with gasoline, but the fire has no effect. The group escapes and notices that people have disappeared from the city. They realize city. They realize that when Morgana's soldiers appear, humans vanish. The soldiers pursue them, but Alex cleverly uses a car door to defeat one. Kai drives a car to escape, running over another soldier, and she returns to her usual nature and the humans appear again. After that, Alex sits with Lance and Kay and tells them everything, asking for their help to confront Morgana's attack, and they agree. The next day, Alex and his friends head to the city of Tintagel because he believes Morgana is there, as he saw in the book. Merlin joins them to help find her. After a while, they reach the archaeological site, and Merlin uses magical coffee to open a portal that takes them to the city quickly. There, Merlin creates a sword for each of them and begins training them to defeat Morgana. He casts a spell on a group of trees, causing them to move and engage in a fight with Alex and his friends. The trees then turn black, revealing that Morgana has taken control of them. At that moment, the trees surround them and are about to take them underground when Alex calls for Merlin, who arrives just in time to save them. However, Merlin suddenly collapses, and it becomes clear that using magic drains his strength. He is forced to leave them to regain his power. During this time, Lance takes Alex's sword and tries to leave, but Alex attempts to stop him. Lance attacks him, and they duel with swords. During the fight, Arthur's sword breaks, deeply upsetting Alex. He accuses Lance of being reckless and a failure, expressing regret for trusting him. Lance, hurt by Alex's words, decides to part ways. At this moment, Alex opens the book and learns about the Lady of the Lake, who resides in water bodies and helped King Arthur in his battles. He speaks to her, asking her to restore the sword, and she fulfills his request, returning the sword intact. Lance is shocked by what happens and sincerely apologizes to Alex for breaking the sword. They reconcile and decide to stay united to defeat Morgana. Later, they encounter a team of scouts. The leader of the scouts thinks they are lost, and Alex asks her for their horses, but she refuses. Suddenly, the scouts disappear, confirming to Alex that Morgana is behind it. At that moment, Morgana's soldiers emerge from underground and chase them. The group enters the forest to escape, and Alex manages to take down one of the soldiers. He falls from his horse but captures one of the soldiers and is about to stab him with the sword. However, someone intervenes and saves the soldier's life. Alex realizes that the soldiers are after the person holding the sword. He lures them to a high cliff, causing them all to fall into the water and ultimately perish. Alex and his friends decide to camp there until morning. The next day, Alex wakes up and thrusts his sword into a rock before heading off to find his father's home. He eventually arrives and knocks on the door, where his Aunt Sophie answers. When Alex asks about his father, she tells him that his father was reckless and a failure. She explains that Leah tried to make him a better person but couldn't, and that his father disappeared a year ago, leaving her unaware of his whereabouts. Alex is deeply upset that his father abandoned him and that Leah lied to him, claiming his father was a hero. He leaves the house in tears. He confides in his friends, expressing his desire to abandon the mission, and throws the book into the water. His friends encourage him, reminding him that many innocent lives depend on him. At that moment, Merlin appears with the book in hand, giving it back to Alex and urging him to be a brave warrior who never gives up. The book opens to a specific page, revealing the castle where Morgana resides. Alex decides to go there and finish her off. Later, Alex and his friends visit a toy store, purchase weapons, and head to the castle. When they arrive, they find the place completely empty and are puzzled. Alex thrusts his sword into the ground, opening a door that leads them into a long tunnel. Suddenly, tree branches attack them. Alex manages to escape the tunnel, but the branches trap his friends. At this moment, Morgana appears before him, explaining her plan to destroy the world and mocking him, saying he is just a boy who cannot defeat her. She transforms into a terrifying monster and attacks him. Though initially scared, Alex decides to fight. Using the sword, he successfully strikes her. Morgana writhes in pain and the place begins to collapse. Alex quickly rescues his friends and they escape. Believing he has defeated Morgana, Alex is overjoyed and throws the sword into the water. He returns home and sees Leah sleeping. He doesn't wake her but reassures her silently, though he remains upset with her for hiding the truth about his father. The next day, Alex wakes up to find the tree branches surrounding his house. Merlin arrives and explains that Morgana is still alive because Alex lacks the qualities of a true knight. Qualities of a true knight. He tells Alex that knights must be honest, brave, and forgiving of those they love. Alex recalls being upset with Leah and goes to apologize, sharing the truth about the sword. She doesn't believe him until he takes her to the bathroom, fills the tub with water, and speaks to the Lady of the Lake, who retrieves the sword. Leah is shocked and finally believes him. Alex gathers his friends and realizes they have only 6 hours before the solar eclipse, during which Morgana will attack humanity. He decides to seek help from the school students as Morgana's soldiers will be too numerous to face alone. They arrive at the school and Alex explains the situation to the students, warning them of the danger. The students agree to fight alongside him. They set traps around the school and Merlin trains them in sword fighting. As the solar eclipse begins, a massive number of Morgana's soldiers emerge from underground and attack the school. The students use the traps they set, successfully defeating some of the soldiers, and fight bravely. However, the number of soldiers continues to grow. Alex instructs the students to retreat to the school roof. At this moment, Morgana appears, transforming into a giant monster and breathing fire at them. Alex devises a plan, luring Morgana while the students tie ropes around her, immobilizing her. Merlin uses his magical powers to help restrain her. In the final moment, Alex strikes Morgana with the sword, decapitating her and ending her reign. Finally, life returns to normal and all of Morgana's soldiers vanish. The students are overjoyed that they saved the world. The next day, Alex goes to a lake and throws the sword into it. Merlin speaks to him and explains that his mission is complete and that he will appear to him again if the world ever needs him. The movie ends. I hope you liked it, and if you did, appreciate our effort by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. See you in another movie. Goodbye.